Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to the Wheel of Wishes! With me, Jorb.
And also me.
That's Jason. We're here back with our sim, Norbus, and... Oh, my mistake. This isn't Norbus. This is a haunted house. Here is Norbus, examining his alcohol machine. He's stinky. He's smelly. I have reopened the game so everything is exploding. Real quick. You know how it is.
True. I do in fact know how it is.
I'm gonna have him take an actual shower because apparently he's singed. Not that you'd know it from looking at him. He's down
An
to
emotional
wolf.
tinge.
Oh, it's the full moon. Oh, right, I forgot we have a hole in our backyard. Well, it's kind of our side yard, actually. Oh, it's getting cold. 23 degrees Fahrenheit. Yikes. Anyway, today we are attempting to reach the goal of becoming a creature-robot crossbreeder. As one does.
Step 1. Find a creature.
Me. Actual step 1 is probably apply for science career. So despite being in the science career, we will not be using the science skill. Hey Norbus, why are you wearing your clothes in the shower?
Censorship. He wasn't in the original animation, but when they imported it to America,
Oh, yeah.
the censors said that they had to change the scene.
Great. Good job, Norbus. You did it. Yeah, he needed to do his laundry as well, so... So I've learned what these are, by the way.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that is pet dig spots, where your pets can dig.
Pet Dick Spot sounds like a Star Wars character.
Lots of things are Star Wars characters, like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. He's in Star Wars.
Yeah, that...
No, really, like, there's a Padawan named Shaggy, who looks like Shaggy and has a green lightsaber. Pet dig spots, yes, exactly, correct. My new Star Wars OC. I could probably make that exact character in Star Wars The Old Republic.
Yeah.
You guys want to do this with Tor Stream instead? Oh, I should have applied to the job last night so we would be working today. Alas.
Oh well. Oh well.
We can just go make some more alcohol. Finish up our skill journal for Nectar Brewing, wherever it is. I don't know the icon for it. This one. We need to make more bottles of nectar.
More.
I just look over and see pet dig spots again. My good friend Pet Dig Spots. Why is there a stereo out here?
I don't know, man.
That's not ours. I'm just gonna sell it. Okay. That's not a set of phrases that should go together, but don't worry about it.
It's fine.
A carpool for Norbus will come in about an hour. Are you sure about that? It's not your work hours. Oh, we've received mail. Probably a certificate for Nemaster nectar making. Nope. It's a palladium ingot and a mercury ingot. A mercury ingot. Sure. A mercury ingot. Hmm. A mercury ingot.
It must be very cold.
Oh, these can
I actually feel like I remember reading there is, like, some way that also it will stay solid if, like, there's something about, like, the
mercury,
like
well
air
known.
pressure or something. I don't know. Like, there is some weird loophole that does make mercury, like, at least behave solidly at room temperature, but I don't remember what it is, and it would not be something that you could just, like, reproduce and then, like, carry the ingot around. You would have to, like, stay in the whatever you're doing this into.
Splart! Oh, right, yeah, I scooched the chat box during Jackbox. And now I need to move it back. Into its chat box. There we go. There we go.
Oh.
I forgot he looked like this in his, you know.
Yeah.
Oh. Whoa. Whoa!
Good job, Norbus.
Good. For certain values of good and job.
If they bit so toy!
Oh, Brick says, speaking of Jackbox, Jason, can you please upload the standalone version of the last Beathon intro when you get a chance?
Oh yeah, I should do that, yes.
This can be called... We're just gonna make some grape juice. Funny, Norbus inventing. We invented a cow toy.
Distant cousin to the cow tool.
True. We have made non-alcoholic grape juice.
That's the way I like it.
Yeah. Now we need to turn a bunch more grapes into grape juice.
Bunch.
Haha, bunch. It's funny because that can also mean words are just buckets we put meaning into. Quote, Jason.
I mean, yeah. No, I think I stand by that. It depends what meaning you put into the word bucket, I guess. How did you get a topically appropriate quote out of it just by typing quote?
Fate. Hey Norvis, detonate this chair.
Do.
Maybe I should be a hat one day.
How do you know you aren't already?
Philosophical questions we should all be considering.
Are you not the Earth's hat? Are we
No.
not all the Earth's hats?
I mean, I guess. Norbus miserable sounds.
Naga glub.
Me too, Norbus. I agree. Narga glub.
No, we're good glove. Words to live by and die by.
And explode by.
True. Words to live by, die by, and others.
And other.
Oh.
I am going to repeatedly save because I don't want to accidentally detonate a scrap pile here. Because if I do, that could detonate the rest of this
The
locale.
timeline.
I'm being a little cautious here. Perhaps more than necessary. Why is he so sad? Why does he not experience the joy of destruction? I think he's sad about the stuff being a little busted already before he gets to it.
Zep Dreeb.
Dreeb. My man sounds like a YTP. There we go. He go Wahoo though. And now let's dig through these junk piles. And then go home. Norbus found the Avant.
What?
Norbus found the Avant. Oh, this dresser just materialized. Or not even,
Well,
it's a
that's
trash
not suspicious at
compactor.
all.
It's a trash compactor, it just materialized. But I can't
That's
detonate it, so I'm just gonna pick
even
it
less
up.
suspicious. Sure.
Oh god, the day ended, so all the trash piles have reset. I'm just gonna go home. It's like 2 a.m. Norbus goes sleepy. Norbus, go sleepy. Have some carbonara. And some bed. And then de-smell yourself for work. Who up at 2 a.m. exploding trash compactors? Who is it?
I mean, I think here generally at that time it's polite to do it in the dream realm, but you know.
Hey, Norvish, work is in 6 hours. Make sure you get enough sleep. Oh, it's fine. He has meditative trance sleep. That's right.
You can get more than 6 hours of sleep? Like, physically? You're capable of doing that?
Cheezo.
Time to go to work. Why are you dressed as a fireman?
He's having flashbacks. I don't know. You ever... I don't know, like, you ever change, like, where you live, or, like, what your class schedule, or, like, any kind of regular thing where you'd go one place, and then you start going another, and you start
Yeah,
heading
I've
to...
tried driving to the wrong house before.
Yeah. It's like that.
Morbus is a test subject. Science noises.
Science noises.
Morbus has met all his co-workers. Work hard then. Morbus has earned a promotion to lab tech. Hooray! Their commitment to the less than glamorous side of science has garnered you a position as a lab tech. It's time to earn that lab coat and broaden your horizons. Beware of flammable materials, radioactive mutagens, and self-aware robotics. As you progress deeper into the workings of the laboratory.
I think that's racist against self-aware robotics. I feel like over the past year we've discovered that truly the problem is not self-aware robotics. It's not self-aware
Right?
robotics.
Yeah.
Or more importantly, not self-aware people in the field of robotics.
There was this, quote, gaming news site, end quote, that, does articles for various games, and it turned out that they were just scraping, like, they were just using AI to scrape.
Oh yeah, no,
subreddits.
I think there's like tons of those.
Yeah, but like someone on the World of Warcraft subreddit complained about it, about one of these sites scraping Reddit for articles. And then I was like, I can't wait for them to scrape this post and write an article about people being mad about AI writing articles and scraping the subreddit. And then they did, like half an hour later, new article shows up on that site that is exactly that, citing my comment.
Well, now you have to make a new post.
Oh yeah, and that's how then
Pointing out
people then started trying to poison its data and managed to get it to write an article about how excited people were that Glorbo was coming to World of Warcraft. And after the Glorbo article got posted, mysteriously all of their Warcraft articles suddenly disappeared. And they no longer listed it under games they cover.
You could have taken it further and
it made it to
made
Tumblr?
Made it publish an article where, like, it reports that an AI thing has published an article based on a Reddit post about an AI scraping Reddit for articles, right?
Yeah, we were trying to get it to do that, but unfortunately we were unsuccessful.
Gotta go over to some other subreddit and try there, I guess.
The Glorbo one was very funny, though, for what it's worth. Oh yeah, I did. I even liked this post. I guess I just kind of tuned it out because I was so used to seeing it already from Reddit. Thrilled about the introduction of Glorbo.
You know what's going to be really funny?
Is when they actually add Glorbo to WoW.
Yeah.
One of WoW's senior developers actually like commented on the article on Twitter and said that I'm so glad we can finally talk about Glorbo. I don't have to keep the secret anymore.
Give it a year.
Kozel Blonde.
But, like, also, like, that is... I don't know. That's very funny just because, like, it is absolutely true that when you're working on a thing, and it's like, I'm excited for this thing. I can't say anything about it.
Yeah.
It is maddening. So, like, that's very, like...
It's like, thank God we
Like
can
that,
finally talk about Glorbo.
Like, I can't, like... On one hand, it's a funny joke. On the other hand, I kind of like to imagine that person, like... You know, they initially wrote that, and they had something they're actually working on that they can't talk about. And then they deleted it and replaced it with Glorbo so that they could, like, you know, like, have, like, mentally, like, have a catharsis over this and, like, discharge that energy of, like, I want to talk about this but can't.
Norbus has under promotion to useless contraption manipulator.
Hey, that's my job!
Not all departments of the science lab are profitable, or productive for that matter. Nevertheless, for every 100 duds and worthless whiz-bangs, there's a hit that rocks the science community to its beaker-encrusted core. You better improve your skills with a wrench, because you'll be up to your eyes with useless contraptions. Enjoy being co-workers with Norbus.
Ay.
Wow, we have a bunch of co-workers.
Sibo.
Oh, I was gonna look. I thought I saw something inside of the car, but it's immediately become covered in snow.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, where did I get this from? This is how you use the dishwasher, right? Well, that was a little weird.
I'm back.
Oh yeah, the plates have all dematerialized. Don't worry about it.
Oh no.
We've washed them into non-existence.
Is there any way to make someone worry about something faster than saying "don't worry about it"?
Have I told the story about my experience with that exact circumstance?
Maybe I don't like. If you asked me what was my experience with that circumstance, I would not be able to tell you what it was.
Okay.
But I feel like maybe you said it at some point. I don't know.
Okay, so like, I once was coming home from school. It was like I was, I think it was when I was in middle school. It was close enough that I could actually bike there and back, which is nice. But one time I was coming home and I see like an ambulance go up my street. I don't think particularly much of this because, I mean, it could just be going through. And even then, there's a bunch of houses in the street, so I don't think much of it. And then as I'm coming up the street, one of my neighbors approaches me, like seeing me come up the street, and says, "It's okay, everything will be fine, don't worry." And I'm like,
Oh no.
okay, well, I didn't have reason to be worried before. However, now... Ooh, the floor hygienator. This is actually useful. Ta-da! Now anytime anyone goes through the... There we go. Ta-da! Anytime anyone passes through there, they get washed a little bit. They already named this. Grape juice, non-alcoholic.
Does it not, like, appreciate that you've used the word alcohol when surely you mean nectar? And so it, like, didn't save the name?
Dunno. I guess it... I don't know, maybe it only saves, like, your best recipes or something, but surely this is better than scorpion juice, so I don't know.
I mean, scorpion juice is a better name.
I suppose, yes.
And as we all know, all wine is actually just the same. It's all a matter of branding.
I don't think I... You don't think you would drink scorpion juice? Bracket, terrible, end bracket.
I mean, I don't think I would, but just as a name.
Norbus has discovered how to make a new invention, the improved smasher. Thank God for the improved smasher. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I mean, honestly, I'd say try something that doesn't have the word alcoholic in it, because I actually do think that might be it.
I think there's a limited number of things you can save, and I don't know how it determines which ones get saved.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Shrug. Couldn't tell you.
No.
I don't normally use this feature, so I do not know.
That's okay. I also don't know.
Hooray!
Yay.
Yay! Oop, my food has spoiled. Disgusting. Funny Norbus, go to work. Cleaning chemical residue and botanical blobs off of the lab dishes wasn't easy, but you did it just the same. Your job performance has improved. Yeah, we just put him in the dishwasher and it was fine. Should we not have done that?
Yeah. I don't know why you guys didn't think to do it before.
It's like,
What do you mean it's against protocol?
it's like, oh, I should buy a new dishwasher? What do you mean it's not food safe? Not
wait a minute.
food
Why
safe.
is that the protocol? Really? 37 dead? Oh, wow. Okay.
So what do you mean, quote, not food safe, end quote?
Yeah.
No, Normus is not going to join the medical career. Yet. Normus's performance has earned a promotion to fertilizer analyst. You probably don't want to know what that smell is. Fertilizer analysts need to be ready for some hands-on times with some stinky stuff, because the best harvests come from great, horrifically smelly fertilizers. Head outside to spend time in the garden and don't forget to shower afterwards. And that's why this career requires gardening skills. Norvis has no interest in saving lives that he hasn't endangered himself.
I mean, it's just not his business.
It's just business. Camera spin. Okay, tend garden. You know, I was thinking about how, like, as you get promoted, you end up with less hours and like more pay, but less hours and less days worked. And I'm like, no, that's actually probably kind of accurate.
Yeah, people get paid incredible amounts of money to fuck around on Excel for 30 minutes. Then fire a couple people who worked really, really hard all day, go home, and complain about how hard their lives are.
Yeah. He is inventing. What do you think he's making?
A catastrophe.
Statistically likely.
Yeah.
Unratable sim found pepper cat. Who knows where Peba is?
We'll never know.
I think it was just a different cat named Pepper. I didn't.
It's a very common name.
Yeah. I literally know, like, maybe 2 other people who have a cat named Pepper. Not, like, personally, but, like, offhanded. I know of 2 people who have a cat named Pepper.
Sure.
Doggy's hideaway made currency.
I don't think you're supposed to make your own currency. I think someone else's legally someone else is supposed to make it, and then you receive it in exchange for services.
Well, what does that make crypto then? Is that not people making their own currency?
That's people.
I'm not saying, for the record, I'm not saying crypto is good. If I would say the opposite of that, but
No, it's terrible. But also, they're not. I mean, whoever made, whoever actually made the cryptocurrency, I guess, is creating a thing that they are then saying this is a currency, and then people are agreeing to that. But that is technically speaking, that is people making a currency. Initially, when you said that, I guess for some reason, was thinking of interpreting mining as creating a currency. That's not how that works. But then it's no, actually, on the larger scale, this is we made a math problem, and we're saying every time you solve part of the math problem, that has a value, and then we're going to destroy the economy. So, maybe there just shouldn't be currency at all.
maybe so.
Maybe that was the mistake.
Yeah, as you
I don't think the answer is more kinds of currency. Maybe it's less. Maybe it should be 0.
Norbus is losing influence with the rebels.
What?
Rebel social group.
Okay, just generally okay, I was is there
not
a
the Rebel Alliance
that I is there a subplot I missed here?
We have to overthrow the Empire.
I mean, that's what I've been saying, but I didn't think the game.
What would Norbus look like as a Jedi, do you think?
I mean, I think he basically looked like that.
Well, you ever think about
that? His face and hair do not look out of place in Star Wars.
Do you ever think
the clothing is certainly not a conventional robe, but
You ever
we've
think
seen
about
Jedi.
how silly the whole robe thing is? I assume that the reason that the classic Jedi look was robes is because that's what Obi-Wan wore in Episode 4, right?
I mean, I feel like there was I feel like my understanding was that probably there was some thought put into that. Yes, in Episode 4 he wears robes, but I feel like at that point it was probably already understood that he was wearing something that might have resembled Jedi clothes. I don't think that they just didn't there wasn't this. I don't think that they. I don't think George Lucas had no clue what Jedi looked like, and then we have this guy who looks like this. Let's do it. I feel like
I was of the impression that Obi-Wan originally was dressed like that because he was on Tatooine and he was dressed like he was on Tatooine.
Yeah, on the other hand, the robes that we see, the Jedi wear aren't actually, quite the same. But they're, I mean... I really, I don't know the exact, timeline for how the concept of the Jedi developed. But I don't think that they wear robes because, just because Obi-Wan wore robes and then we're gonna retcon that as the thing. I think that probably it's more complicated than that.
I do, however, want to say that I think it's very funny that Obi-Wan hid Darth Vader's son from him by going to Darth Vader's home planet, dressed like a Jedi, casually waving a lightsaber around, and then the kid would be with people connected to Anakin and using Anakin's last name. And the Empire never found them.
They actually did.
Well, eventually, it took them like 20 years to find them.
No, in the Obi-Wan miniseries, they like.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I just
taking
it like the movies by themselves. Just it is very silly.
It's like one of those things where like, if you really take the movie by themselves, then I feel like one could reasonably figure that like there wasn't an Empire, like there wasn't a strong Empire presence on Tatooine. Yeah. Right? Like,
I guess
like, oh, well, how could he be doing all this stuff and it not ever get back to them? And like, because there's no one fucking there to, like, report it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about, well, why the heck would Anakin want to go have anything to do with Tatooine?
No, he would, like,
it there.
I feel like Anakin would not, like, just like, I'm not going to deal with Tatooine. You know, I'm not,
sand.
You know, that's not what I, like, it's there's nothing there, it's useless to the Empire.
It's
other
just
than,
sand.
Yeah, like, I think, you know, again, the only reason we even see stormtroopers there in the movie is because of, that they were looking for the droids, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
There's no, if we really are just going by the movie, as far as we know, there was no Empire presence on Tatooine prior to that, right? So
it is still very silly of Obi-Wan to wave his lightsaber around in the bar, like, with stormtroopers right outside, though.
Well, I feel like by then the cap, like, yeah, but
like, what happened to Order 66, man?
Well, but, like, again, that's not question of why did it take them so long. Like, that has nothing to do
just
with
Obi-Wan
why
being
did they not
stupid.
find him sooner, because by that point they had, basically, right? Like, there wasn't 20 years after he did that where they didn't find him.
Yeah, no, that's just Obi-Wan being a dummy.
Again, if you have access to Disney Plus, the Obi-Wan series actually is, like, good.
Does it have Ewan McGregor?
What?
Does it have the guy who played Obi-Wan in the prequels?
Yeah.
Good.
Literally the one, like, actually legitimately good thing about the prequels? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I
think it's funny that, like, Ewan McGregor is, like, super into being Obi-Wan. I think even Liam Neeson is super into being Qui-Gon, because, like, he still does Qui-Gon's voice in, like, extended media stuff.
Yeah,
Click on our worker.
The Disney extended Star Wars stuff has been a real mixed bag, but the Obi-Wan series with it stars Ian McGregor. It is actually it was quite good.
I think it's
and
it funny.
Takes place, I think maybe like 10 years after. It's like about I think it's like halfway between the prequels and modern day. I mean, I'd say it's probably like as long since the prequels happened as since the prequels came out.
Sorry to cut you off. I want to just acknowledge the sentence on screen right now.
Oh, well, yeah. Invented the time machine. Great. That's not a problem at all. Oh, no. But yeah, I mean, so he previously had been much more careful about that. He was not going around using that lightsaber for those 20 years, right?
Yeah. But, yeah, I think it's kind of funny that, like, Ewan McGregor is still super into, like, being Obi-Wan in Star Wars, when I think the guy who played Obi-Wan in Episode 4 was like, never talk to me about Star Wars ever again.
Yeah, no. Alec McGinnis.
Yeah.
That's his name. I feel like I'm getting his.
I think that
fucking up
sounds
this.
right. That sounds right.
There might not be a Mick. It might just be Alec Guinness. I don't know where I got the Mick from. But yeah, no, he hated it. But Ian McGregor loves it. I think even like
Alec Guinness.
Hayden,
Yeah.
I think even Hayden Christensen actually like seems to generally look back on playing Anakin fondly, despite everyone not liking his performance.
Yeah, I remember that in the final scene with Darth Vader in Episode 3, like, Hayden was like, can I be the one in the suit? Like, I know they're not going to see me, and I'm going to be dubbed up with James Earl Jones, but can I be the one in the suit?
Yeah, and he does. He also comes back for the Obi-Wan miniseries. Like, I feel like there's like it's one of those things, like there's enough problems with the prequels that it is like fun to rag on them, and they're not nearly as good as a lot of other stuff. But yeah, but like the main problem was not like Hayden Christensen's not actually a bad actor, right? Again, Samuel L. Jackson's acting in those movies was wooden, and we know Samuel L. Jackson can act. Like this is not. That was not
to
the
to
like.
be fair, like, freaking, I'm forgetting the name of his character suddenly. Mace Windu really was not an appropriate character for Samuel L. Jackson.
No, I kind of do hope that maybe we now get something with him. Like now that we've got the Obi-Wan thing, right? We have he obviously has a good relationship with Disney, given that he's currently, the star of the current Marvel series, right? Like, yeah, a Mace Windu series could be good, or it could suck, right? Because the main problem is like Mandalorian's been generally okay. The most recent season, I think, has had mixed results. Obi-Wan was great. Andor, it was good. It doesn't feel necessarily like as Star Warsy as some other stuff, but it was like actually very good as television. Book of Boba Fett sucked. It was terrible. I do not understand how that got made.
Have you ever seen there's a series
I put it below the prequels. I'm putting that on record. Like it's worse than the prequels as far as like what's a bad Star Wars movie?
Have you ever seen that one series on YouTube? I forget who made it, but there was like the series was based. What if Star Wars Episode 1/2/3 was good? And it's
I mean, I think a lot of people have talked about that kind of stuff. I might have heard of this specific one.
There was a specific one. It started off. The episode 1 was just they reused shots, but then episodes 2 and 3, because it diverged more, they started doing hand drawn stuff. Like it had Owen, for example, Owen Lars. Like Obi-Wan was the protagonist, of course. Owen Lars was starting in episode 2 was a major character, like kind of like the Han Solo smugglery type. To explain why.
I wonder if the people who did the Obi-Wan series watched this video.
Oh, was that a thing? There was also stuff like, freaking, it's like starting episode 2 was like, okay, take your scripts, cross out the word Naboo, and write Alderaan in its place.
That would have been a good idea, yeah.
So,
I don't know. It's like it's one of those things where like, okay, if you accept that, and I actually think this goes for the sequel trilogy too, if you accept that there were historical events that happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, we are not actually watching those events. We are watching like when you watch a movie about, the Revolutionary War, you sort of accept that the people making it are biased and aren't giving you exact details, and that maybe stuff's kind of like gotten a little distorted over time, right? Or like how any historical thing, right? It's like if you accept that there are events and those events are being relayed to you through this movie, but the movie is a movie about them. It's not the events. I'm fine with like the narrative of what occurred. It's just that there's various details in them that, like, this isn't told well. But in theory, like, the same story could be told well. It just isn't here,
Yeah. Fiction identity postulate.
Yeah.
Like, you know the fiction identity postulate, right? From TV tropes.
Yeah.
I remember I saw a rewrite someone was doing of Half-Life Full Life Consequences. And, like, unfortunately, it only made it for, like, the first 2 parts before the author moved on to something else. But it was actually really good. I also do that. I'm also doing a story that's a rewrite of someone else's story.
I was tempted to do that, and then I realized that I never even fucking finished my own shit, so probably don't need to take on more.
Yeah, no, if I've mentioned that I'm writing before that I've been writing a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX fanfic, and
Yeah.
it's a rewrite of someone else's concept. That's why I have Yugi as a villain in it, because that was in the original story, except now I have an actual reason for it, instead of just, he's edgy villain now.
Yeah.
It's like,
no, I mean, I think
he's out of character for a reason this time, instead of having an evil sword that drains people's souls, and is working with Siegfried von Schroeder from the World Tournament arc for some reason, who he then, like, murders. That was
I think most, like, lots of stories are literally like, I'm going to rewrite something else because I'm annoyed at it, and then, like, it just gets changed enough that, you know, it's like, it winds up being its own thing. Like, I feel like I remember some story about Lord of the Rings, and there being a passage in Beowulf that Tolkien got, like, he was annoyed that the trees weren't literally marching because that was, like, being said poetically about some forest in Beowulf. And he's like, no, it would be cooler if the trees actually were, like, marching, and then that's where you get the Ents. Or, like, I don't know. I feel like there's various other things like that.
I also, like, as far as, like, as well, the back to the Star Wars stuff, I remember...
Yeah.
Have you ever read Darths and Droids?
I mean, like, yes, but not in the sense that I have any, like, recollection of it, right? I'm like, yes, that was a thing that was... That I read in, high school, right? And I laughed at it and then haven't thought about it since and couldn't tell you anything other than...
I like how they were like, well, we're retelling the events of the Star Wars trilogies, that it's like, we want to keep the drama of the Darth Vader reveal like it would have been to audiences in the first place, back in when Empire first came out. But, like, obviously, these days, everyone knows Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader.
Not everyone, apparently.
Well,
but
most people. The people reading Darths and Droids most likely know that, you know, Anakin is Darth Vader. Especially since you'll have seen episodes 1 through 3, and then the person who was playing Anakin's character is now also playing Darth Vader in, like, the side scenes. In addition to, like, their own... They're also playing Leia now. But, then... And it's like the rest of the party figures out that Darth Vader is Anakin. And so what's the big twist you do here? Simple. Darth Vader isn't Anakin Skywalker. And that's the twist. Darth Vader... So it's like, I know that you're, like, I'm your son, yes. Like, yes, you're my son, like... So Luke goes, I know that you're my father. And Darth Vader is like, that's impossible. And Luke's like, you know it to be true. And Darth Vader's like, no, really, that's impossible. Because I am your mother. Darth Vader is Padme Amidala. Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, oh, that, like... I don't know, it's like, oh, yeah, you keep the twist. On the other hand, like, there's a certain sense of, like... For me, that kind of hits the way that a lot of people...
shows, like, there's, like, there's a flashback to a sequence you saw with Darth Vader's first appearance, with a little extra context added, like, oh, yeah, no, it was written to be Padme the entire time.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a, there was foreshadowing. There's also stuff like R2-D2 getting possessed by a Newt Gunray. Like the head of the Trade Federation. You could sometimes R2 would say words that don't quite make sense in context, but then you realize he's switching his L's and R's sometimes, and you find out that's because like the DM was giving R2's player EXP every time he snuck in an LR switch that the players didn't notice. And things like that. It's very funny. Huh, why didn't this bomb go off? That's weird. You ever get exploded and then just be annoyed about it? Like, ugh,
Yeah,
man.
all the time.
It's like, so annoying.
True.
Norbus take shower, then Norbus go bed. Whee! I wonder if the harvester works at this crap piles, actually. I should try that. Oh, yeah, Leo, can you hop into call for... Actually, no, Jason, you can press the button, I think. Oh, no, you don't have the button. It's not in here. Leo has it. Leo, can you hop into the call for a second? Just to press a button in the soundboard. I need you to, Oh no, you don't have nitro. You can't do the... It's okay, I'll just... Hold on. Among Us sound effect. Here we go.
That's not it.
That's not it. There we go. I played it on Firefox. I found it on Google.
Yeah, I the same thing. I'm just like, I'm not doing Nitro unless they back away from a number of things.
The only nitro I want is the Nintendo DS.
Was that its code name?
Yeah, it was Nitro. You can see if you look at any given DS cartridge, you can see like the ID for every game cartridge is NTR dash number.
I feel like there's no way I didn't know that back in the
day.
Yeah, but I completely I remember the Wii being the Revolution.
Yeah,
I did not. Revolution, I do not remember.
I think I forgot about that one. I think GameCube was Dolphin, which is why the emulator is also called Dolphin.
That sounds correct.
Fun fact, that's also why Yu-Gi-Oh! Nightmare Troubadour is called that. Because I think it was supposed to basically just be Yu-Gi-Oh! DS, but they were probably had to name it before the DS name was publicly revealed.
I just assumed that was nonsense, but...
No, if you think about it, the first two letters of Nightmare
are
N-I,
now, if
then
it's Nitro,
T-R-O.
then it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
I'm saying I just
Nightmare
figured
Troubadour.
that, Yu-Gi-Oh! Uses nonsense.
It is word
often
salad.
enough that it did not even, it didn't occur to me that there would be a reason.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is absolutely word salad nonsense. But it's basically just called Yu-Gi-Oh! DS.
Yeah.
And I just think it's very funny that they decided to do that for... They did a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters game on the DS. I don't know if it was a launch title or not. It might have been. I don't know. But, there was already at least one GX game on the GBA. So why did they go back to Duel Monsters?
I don't know.
A little weird.
I think there maybe was still some sense of these being like coexistent
Franchises.
Yeah, rather than one being
I do think
actually,
GX started before the original series finished, because that's why they didn't show Yugi's face fully in the starter, because they didn't want to show whether it was Yugi or a Tem.
That sounds correct.
But it does lead to the funny thought that in the future Yugi will grow up to sound exactly like a Tem.
I mean, that's like not the least believable thing in the world.
Sure. I also think it's fun that like everyone's always like, oh, the reincarnations of people from the ancient past, yada yada. And I'm like, but how could Yugi be a reincarnation of a Tem when a Tem's soul is right there?
Well,
Like, if you think
I don't know.
about
I mean, it depends. If a Tem soul ever does actually completely pass on, and thus then will reincarnate, when
yeah, it's like,
will
are they
that
two
incarnation
yeah, it's like,
be?
are they two halves of a soul? And if that case, does that mean only half of him got to move on? Like at the end of the series?
No, I mean, I think it's more like it's. If that were the case, I think it would be like a time travel thing, where even if the soul doesn't, if he dies in whatever,
so you think that
2000
basically the
BC or
afterlife
whatever.
exists outside of linear time?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So the next incarnation will still be born, like, oh god, I don't remember how it worked because there was some concept of.
At some
so
point,
first off, in Egypt, there's a bunch of different parts of the soul anyway, right?
Yeah, and
most of them don't undergo metempsychosis.
Yeah.
So
at some point, he's going to be reborn as Henry Tudor. We know this.
But yeah, I think it's just like it's.
God, I just love the premise of Duelists of the Roses so much.
That was a weird choice, yeah. But yeah, no, I think that's.
My name is Henry
like,
Tudor, but I find it tiresome. You may call me Yugi.
Yeah, I think it's whichever part of the soul would do that. Yeah, probably just however long it lasts. Then once it does pass on, it sort of like snaps back to when it should be incarnated in linear time.
Yes. Anyway,
insofar as linear time exists,
Norbus has been promoted to carnivorous plant tender. The pursuit of science is not always one of safety. The carnivorous plant tender is very much in harm's way, but that's no excuse for sloppy data collection and analysis. Stay on the plant's good sides and continue developing your scientific skills. Hopefully a more appetizing position will open up, ideally before you become too appetizing yourself. So we are now at level 5 science. We need to reach level 9. We're doing pretty good. Not bad for an hour. It's been 1 hour.
Yeah.
Let's see. We harvested our plants. Oh, take nectar. And you know what? I've decided I don't much care about the structural integrity of the junkyard, and also I'm pretty sure things that explode will eventually respawn anyway. I just run through someone's backyard, there's a radio going, so just hear beep as I run through. Love that. Detonate. Oh man, I think This is just the chair I'm sitting on right now. Like, straight up, this is, I mean, minus all the scratches, this is just the chair I am using.
You should get a cushion.
Probably should have made sure that was on camera.
Oh well.
No.
There we go. Good job, Norbus. Oh! Hey! Thank you for the one-person raid!
Yay.
Just one. Raider, singular. Hey, I'm pretty sure I've like done it basically means that you can go to your own channel while it's offline and raid someone, and it'll just be raiding with a party of one. I've done that several times in a row for funnies. I mean, I still appreciate that you're here and you're showing off. Like, yes, hello, welcome. Yeah, I also think it's funny. What am I doing? Ah, yeah, we're doing that. We're trying to get every lifetime wish in one sim because I'm a crazy person.
Ipney bipso doy!
Ipney bibso doy. Do some dancing, Norbus.
Woo!
Do. Why?
Now
is,
the
like,
reincarnation thing's gonna bug me. I need to go find my copy of the Book of Coming Forth by Day.
Do.
Found it.
Norbus is now merely popular with the jocks. But yes, this is Norbus Beetlebop. We all worked together to make him. Some people probably had regrets to be involved in his creation. Norbus can have some juice. Let's see how Hongi's Hideaway is doing. I just realized I still have some settings that I was doing a different playthrough on. I need to make sure that they're like... Enable aging! Jesus, yeah, whoops. I mean, it doesn't affect Norbus, but, you know. It still does affect the rest of the town. Why aren't you in uniform? Get in your uniform.
We commit such atrocities on this train.
Yeah. Would you have it any other way, though?
Yep.
Yeah. There we go. Why aren't you in uniform either? Hello?
Griefney, Trebi Zap, Rebevney.
Oh.
Ah.
Mardunsa.
Mardunsa. I'm a hot dog. Oh, hydrate. Now you may be wondering, Jorb, why are you doing this?
Or why are you doing?
Yeah. I don't have a follow-up to that. I was just saying, you may be wondering. Oh, posture check-in, stretch. Oops, nope. There we go. Why is there just a book over here? Weird. Ugh, I'll deal with all the uniforms later. Can't be bothered. Harvesting. Oops. Some of them have died. Miserable. World's wettest, most pathetic Norbus.
To be fair, how many Norbuses are there in the world?
You might be surprised.
That's upsetting.
Make nectar. Mass produce.
Oh.
I remember there was in World of Warcraft Legion, there was a daily quest you could get to make wine. And like so often, like the only step you would get is get in the vat and jump on the fruit. Get in the vat and jump on the fruit. Get in the vat and jump on the fruit. This wine will be great. Thanks for helping. Like, So, people started to, believe certain things about that NPC's preferences.
Ah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate, but, like, also, like, I can see where they're coming from.
Yin Ning.
Norbus, why didn't you just start drilling a hole? Oop, Norbus has found a cave network. We'll explore it later. Yeah, it's just not saving the grape juice, no matter what I name it, so...
Weird.
What if I hit predict fruit combo effectiveness? Maybe that'll do something. There won't be any variation due to combinations. It's just one fruit. Maybe that's just because it's also just that. Shrug.
Alright, I think the answer is that of the, like, 8 different organs, essentially, that a soul has in Egyptian theology, like, 7 of them could have just reincarnated, and then, like, the Ba didn't. It was separate and continued on until passing on. And then that would also explain why Yugi didn't sounds different until after the series.
Norbus has developed a village of gnomes living deep below the surface.
Well, where else are they going to live?
Doop doo doo. Doop doo doo.
Sorry, I had the browser source open and my mouth didn't move and I got confused and then I realized it was just because it was out of sync.
Why isn't my mouth working?
Oh, I ask myself that all the time. That's a different issue. And don't get me started on the rest of me.
Problems, disease.
Sure.
It's storming. Get out of bed, Norbus. Your energy's full. Let's see. Let's check the garden. Ooh, life fruit for her harvesting time. Neat. I don't think I changed anything, aside from the new audio setup, I guess.
Well,
But, like, I didn't change anything's volume, so... you know... Walrus lab coat.
enormous lab coat. The peak of high fashion.
Yeah. The peak of Jorb fashion. No, I don't want to go to the medical career. Stop asking. I'll do it when I'm ready. We literally have the lifetime wish of science right now.
Look at it this way. If we do science first, think of all the new diseases that we'll get to treat when we go to...
You know, you're right. That's true. Now we're an aquatic ecosystem tweaker. No body of water shall be safe from the latex glove of science. Aquatic ecosystem tweakers add and remove fish from various habitats to test evolutionary traits of fish, survivability, and naturally refresh ecosystems as needed. Grab your rod and reel and go fishing for great discovery, which is how they justify you now needing fishing for your career performance. Again, this is before the actual science skill got added.
Well,
That was like university life, so that was like way later. Gathering scrap. Oh! Rest in peace, I guess. This person just died of old age.
terrible. We should stop that.
Anyway, we have stuff to do. I do love the Grim Reaper music in this game.
It's surprisingly lively for something that is dead.
Hmm. I've cloned the Grim Reaper before.
I go glub.
Even when the game says that he doesn't have DNA, I've managed to figure out a way.
I mean, you know, files don't have DNA and you can copy those.
True.
DNA is like, cloning doesn't rely on DNA, it just relies on some form of, like, instructions for the construction of a specific shape.
Yeah, the thing I counted, it was the main primary Grim Reaper who didn't have DNA. The University Grim did.
Well, that's because DNA hadn't been invented when the Prime won. Like, imagine if everyone over a certain age was born in black and white.
Hmm.
You know, the Calvin and Hobbes comic of...
Yeah, color hadn't been invented yet, yeah.
Well, why are all paintings in color? Well, that's because the artists were mad. There's got to be some actual, like, conspiracy theory about, like, humanity not developing color vision until significantly later in history than one would anticipate such an evolutionary advancement taking place, i.e., any time later than, you know,
Well, how do we know
way before
everyone's...
Australopithecus.
How do we know everyone's color qualia didn't just change? Qualia? Qualia?
Qualia, and we don't even know if people's color qualia are the same as each other's now, let alone
Enjoy.
let alone if they were the same as they had been before.
Hello, it's Jorg. It's Jorg.
Norbus sleep time. For Norbuses. Ah, yeah, it looks like the pre-made ones we can do are our 6 most valuable ones.
Hmm.
One of which was scorpion juice.
Scorpion juice is, like, valuable, isn't it?
It's
Like, really, actually?
6 watermelons, 3 limes, and a banana.
Hmm. Someone should tell, like, the, toxicology department that. I think they're probably spending too much. It's like, hey, you don't actually have to milk the scorpion? You can just use limes.
Milk.
It's what they fucking call it, man.
Like, I'm just imagining, like, in that font for you wouldn't download a car, that's just, you wouldn't milk a scorpion.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Exactly.
They freak
you
me
wouldn't
out.
milk the scorpion.
No. I would download a car.
Is that not just what 3D printing is?
Eventually. I mean, like, yeah, like, presumably that's just how they do. Like, in Star Trek, like, they have the matter replicators. Do they just manufacture cars that way now? Like, there aren't even that many cars anyway, right? So it's like, there wouldn't be, like, a problem with the fact that you only do it one at a time.
Yay, these grapes are now perfect quality. Oh lordy, that outfit. Norbus. The texture on it. Boy, I sure hope he comes for the carpool soon. Hey, Norbus, you coming? Norbus? Hello? Norbus, you're gonna be late to work. Hello? Are you home? Norbus? Elsewhere, on a boat.
Just the way the camera moved over and he was just booking it for the water. And I'm just like, please just continue on into the water.
Bumpcha!
Norbus become aquatic. We could get some mermatic kelp. And become a mermaid. It's not related to any wishes, though, so Norbus probably won't become a mermaid. Just because there's not really any benefit to doing so, unfortunately.
He did become a frog.
Not on purpose.
Well, you know what? That's on him.
I suppose. I suppose.
One could argue that Norbus does nothing on purpose.
We do have free will disabled.
Yeah.
Which says a lot about the Norbus condition. Norbus has earned a promotion to genetic resequencer.
Oh boy.
It's time to step in line as a genetic resequencer. Clients pay top simoleon to discover new genes to bottle and sell to customers. It's a lucrative industry filled with discovery, intrigue, and fashionable genes.
I mean, I've seen that movie.
It's probably a joke about how jeans is pronounced, also.
Yeah, probably. But, like, that feels very,
When did I get a flame fruit? Huh.
I don't know.
I mean, I'll plant it. Like, gladly.
Like, that's also, you know, just, that's like a whole genre of, like, biopunk. Right?
There we go. Alright, I heard someone say once that I should just put one of these smell nicerators under the bed. So that basically, whenever Norbus goes to sleep, like whenever Norbus wakes up, he is going to be fully cleaned.
God, you know, wouldn't that be kind of nice if, like, you could figure out, like,
Coastal blonde.
a bed that was also a shower but didn't leave the sheets wet? You don't have to get out of bed in the morning to take your shower. You can just roll out and already have that taken care of.
Oh!
Actually, I think I should get rid of all of them right now because they currently have a chance to backfire and fail.
Oh.
Until I complete the Master Inventor skill challenge, they can reduce my hygiene. Which is not optimal, if I'm being perfectly honest.
No.
Why did I never put a door here? There's just a hole in the wall.
You know.
Let's fix that. That just seems silly. There we go. Now let's play SimCity for a few minutes.
I think it would be funny and absolutely a disproportionate amount of time and effort to do to, like,
Sure.
sneak a camera into the room where someone streams from, and then when they're and then mod their game of Sims to have it that when the Sim plays the Sims, the video is replaced with them playing the Sims. Like, obviously there's, you know, a million reasons why that's actually a terrible idea, but I think the concept is funny.
Yeah. Great, we're just going to make a zillion of these to try and complete the Master Adventure Skill Challenge. And then once we've completed Master Inventor, any ones we make after that will then be unable to fail.
All the ones before that still capable of failing.
Yes. We need to build
And
100
can be
total.
recycled? No? Just... Alright, well, yeah, there's that.
I mean, I don't know if maybe they can be detonated or something. I could try, but...
Yeah. Just leave them all around town. And then when you're bored, detonate one. See who gets blown up.
Squid Game. Oh, I seem to have a lot of pomegranates now.
Hmm.
Alright, let's see. They cannot be detonated.
The pomegranate?
Well, not the pomegranates either, but I meant the floor hydrogenators.
No.
I wish you could detonate pomegranates. Think of the value.
Yeah, no. Just like... can hear Hades just being like, oh, that's a good idea. Hang on.
I approach the blender.
Note to self. Floating pomegranate.
Norbus is going to spend today doing this. Check to make sure there's not some way to like speed this up somehow. That just makes widgets better. So that's not valuable. That just gets more scrap.
Like, think about it. If you're in the land of the dead, you're already dead, so the explosion won't kill you. So it's just like extra flavor. I feel like this is probably the point where Persephone like smacks him on the back of the head and tells him no.
I remember in the there's an indie game called E.G. created by Daniel Remar, who also did Hyper Princess Pitch, if you've heard of that one.
I have not.
But you can read logbooks in that game from aliens, and occasionally they'll mention, presumably their society's equivalent to coffee, simply called hot drinks. And there's a logbook that says that basically if you can't tell the difference between drinking a hot drink and getting shot in the face with a plasma cannon, then you're not doing hot drinks, right?
I mean, I'm not sure if that's coffee or that's like shots or something.
Why not? But por qué no los dos?
It's true. Like it's like that feel, you know, I mean the latest episode of Star Trek literally having a joke about, you know, how, you know, if your drink isn't causing altered states of consciousness, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, I remember it was kind of a Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster moment. But
yeah.
no, I'm thinking of I recently encountered a fanfic that elaborates on the concept of hot drinks, and one of the aliens feeds the protagonist one, and like right as she's taking a drink, he's like, "Oh right, you have a nano field, right? Oh, it's a good thing. It's a good thing you have a personal nano field, because otherwise that would probably melt your organs." Yeah.
No, I mean the Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster thing is definitely one of those things where it's like this, like. Yes, the degree of it is, you know, comedic for the sake of everything. But like, no, I mean that's how people talk about Earth drinks. Like, of course, aliens are gonna have it even more like out there, right? That's not a. Yeah. Also, it's one of those things like, it's convenient that aliens always, you know, name things very literally so that you have some you can figure out what thing it relates to, and then you remember that then you remember the English word fireplace.
Yeah. Never thought about that until now. But no, also in this game it's established that, you know, the translators were made by humans. And there are some cases,
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and there are some cases
but it's one of those things where
like,
then you have something in your language where it's like, wait a minute, that's not even that's not a translation. We just use that.
Yeah, no, it's like in this case, there's some cases like where some of the weapons like have names in the alien language, but the guys making the translator were just like, why didn't we just call this one the shotgun, so you know what to expect from it?
Yeah. Sometimes there's a literal translation is not as helpful as a what's it called, Woolseyism,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's like the same thing as like, you know, an example of it not being done well, but the sentiment is like when they changed the onigiri to be called sandwiches, right? Of like, we're not translating the word, we're translating the sentiment of what the word is conveying to an equivalent cultural.
Well, I
thing.
sure love jelly donuts.
Like, that's a little weird, but okay.
Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut. And then the one with the freaking sandwich rolling down the hill, also in Pokemon.
Yeah. I basically do not use Twitter anymore. I just mostly focus on, like, Tumblr and Mastodon and Discord. But one of the last things that I remember seeing on Twitter was it was a thing of a auto-translated, like, emergency alert.
Huh.
And I forget the direction. I feel like it must have been from... Somehow, the message was supposed to be that, you know, for your safety, you know, sirens, like alarms, will go off in case of this problem. But the translation somehow got siren as in, like, the mythical creature,
oh boy,
and made it, and so the result was that it said the mermaids are here for your safety.
Mermaids are here for your safety. Hold on, there was I need to pull something.
Which, like, isn't even, like, that's not okay. You know,
there was there was something I showed Leo. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Tag Force 1 has some odd translations in some cases. Where... oh, why did it exit the clip? So, like, there's stuff like in one cutscene, all of a sudden... in this one event cutscene, all of a sudden everybody's suddenly being addressed by last name exclusively. And you're like, oh, this was localized by a different person.
yeah.
But there's also stuff like you can get some items to give to a character to unlock an event with them. But there's stuff like, yes, the description for the hat is, who will the person taking this be? And then the description for the bandana is, a good smell does an orange bandana. It's like,
Oh, I really want to figure out how that one happened.
it's like, huh?
The first one, it's like, oh, that's like a grammar problem. Sure. The second one, I don't...
Google Translate.
Yeah. But, like, what word... I want to know what words
Like,
got
what was that
confused.
originally?
Because that one's actually very hard to, like, parse.
Was clearly not reviewed by a native English speaker.
No. Did you hear that apparently the Japanese translation of Sonic Frontiers is like crap?
Oh yeah, like
Which is
like,
really
changed,
funny to me because it's a Japanese property, but because
Right.
they got it's like
and like they changed character motivations and stuff too. I think.
yeah, they basically got rid of any. I mean, I don't want to say like necessarily development for Mega Man, but like depth.
Any nuance.
Yeah.
As well. I remember seeing someone like talk about Sonic Frontiers, and like they mentioned the character is Sage, and like they're saying something about how Sage is being held against her will, and I'm like, did you play the same game that I played?
Apparently not.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like
did
that's
they?
very interesting to me that a local like a franchise that is, you know, it is like you're used to your version being the original, becoming global enough that then there's a version of it's like, oh, this is weird. Is this what Americans feel like for like all the other ones in the series?
I think there was something like that for Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, where like
Oh, that sounds familiar. Yeah, I don't.
The US version came out first, and then they're like, Jesus Christ, everything is so horribly overtuned, and so they nerfed a lot of the bosses in like the European and Japanese releases of the game. So the US version is hard mode.
Well, there's also. I mean, I feel like there's a number of games where it's the inverse, right?
Right. But it's so
in
funny
fact,
that
like,
that's how it worked here.
Yeah, one of the Mario games is literally just a different game reskinned as Mario and released, and then you know, I think there's like, you know, there's also the numbers for the Final Fantasies are also like 2 of them are flipped or something. I don't remember how that all worked. I find it interesting that a parent, like, I don't know if this is true. It was a thing that was mentioned, in conversation after it was on Loading Ready Orange Checkpoint, right, where they'll do a recorded, like they do video game news, and that's generally, you know, sincere, researched. That's like actual news, and you know they're not going to say something if they don't have a source, and then they'll just like talk after they record it. And it was in that part, so they did not have a source for it. That apparently, like, for a while early on, Nintendo's decisions over what they would bother to bring to America was based on, there was like one guy in like shipping who was American, and they basically just asked him, like, do you think Americans would like this?
Oh boy.
Which is like not like, it feels like there has to be a better way of doing that.
Right.
And like, I guess if you don't have any kind, like, this is before, you know, the internet. This is before, like, it maybe would be more difficult to get like a proper focus group or something, you know, of Americans if you're a Japanese company. But it feels like you should be able to do it, and it might be like a better idea than trusting one guy. Because like, what if that guy just like was completely
right,
like really idiosyncratic in what he was interested in? Had no actual
we have
sense of what the
decided
average American would like.
We have decided that you are the archetypical average American.
Yeah, and like, I feel like I remember the story going that like that was generally like fairly true, right? Like, there were a couple of things I think that he said no, that would not be interesting, that, you know, I think a lot of Americans, certainly in retrospect, would be like, no, that would have been great. But, you know, but it would be funny if it was just like, oh, we thought that was normal, and it turns out that's like, he's completely an outlier.
American Jorg.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there was some joke about that in... God, it wasn't in Star Trek. It was in, like, there was, like, something of, like, where we only had ever seen one member of an alien race, and it was sort of, like, assumed that they were, like, all of them were like that, and it turned out they were actually just really weird.
That's happened with Star Wars as well. Like, Darth Maul. Like,
yeah, but like, I don't know. Did that ever happen like on
in
screen?
Universe? No, I don't think so. But like, I do think it's very funny that they created an entire race based on Darth Maul, and then later they decided actually Darth Maul is like a hybrid. He's like a half of that.
You know, I mean, Star Wars is special.
That's an aside. I in Star Wars: The Old Republic, I have a Jedi that's Darth Maul species.
Mm.
Her story is that she's a former Sith acolyte who had too much of a conscience to be a Sith. And so, like, there was a side quest where it was like, oh, I need you to, like, they're like, oh, hey, acolyte, I need you to go gaslight this Jedi that we have prisoner and help him escape so that he can unknowingly feed false information to the Jedi. And then, like, my character, like, busted him out, but also told him that, like, yeah, by the way, here's what's going on. You've been drugged. You're being fed false information.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in game. And then I decided in her story that she's like, also, can I go with you? And then I had remade her as a Jedi. So I now have her, like, in, like, gray robes, because she's, there's a concept in the Legends continuity called the Gray Jedi.
Yeah, which they completely dropped the ball on not doing anything within the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, I do actually, like, the thing is, I actually do feel like, based on, like, the very end, like, you're like, okay, this could go in that direction, but I don't trust Disney to do it.
Because that would require nuance.
Yeah.
We can't have that.
I'm very sad that I cannot find the original thread about the mermaid. Like, I'm finding a bunch of screenshots of it, but I can't find the original one. And someone had responded they'd actually done, like, a drawing of some mermaids sitting on a rock going wee woo, wee woo. That was very funny. But yeah, it was, in case of volcanic eruption, you will hear mermaids. Do not ignore the mermaids. They are here for your safety.
Fantastic. By the way, we're coming up on 2 hours in. How's your continued availability for today? 'Cause
I mean, I can go for another little bit.
Okay. Hopefully,
have,
hopefully
like,
you can last
one-
until we get there. Like, we're level 7 science, almost level 8. Our goal is to hit level 9.
I mean, again, I think I can go to like 230.
Okay.
If there's a better stopping point around like 215, that might be better. But
Well, we will
yeah,
see.
no.
We will see.
We'll see.
Will be as situation allows.
Yeah.
Oh no, Norbus is too stressed. Trying to play SimCity for 3 seconds so that he is no longer too stressed. Okay, he is no longer too stressed.
Nothing de-stresses like causing natural disasters.
Nothing
for simulated
de-stresses
people.
like pulling up the SimCity title screen for 3 seconds. Like, you didn't even play the game.
I feel like there's probably a very funny joke to be made somewhere of someone being like a really big fan of a game, or saying they're a really big fan of a game, and it eventually turning out that they like don't realize that there's more to the game than the title screen.
I mean, I got like 10 hours in XCOM 2 in the character creator alone, so... Like, I have not played the tutorial mission in XCOM 2, but I have 10 hours of playtime on Steam. This is not
I
a
will
joke.
often just like leave a game open overnight, so my hours in anything are like completely unplayable.
Like, a lot of my hours in Evil Genius are probably that also. Because, like, especially with that exploit for the start of the game, where it's like, until you do X objective, enemies will not spawn. So long as you don't do X objective, you can just farm money.
Yeah.
With no danger.
It's yeah.
We have a mission here that'll give us increased career performance, but I'm going to wait until we get our next promotion. Because we only get promoted at the end of our shift, so we can't get promotion at the start of the day. So for efficiency, we'll wait.
They gotta minimize how many hours they have to pay you more for.
Right. Well, the thing is, when you get promoted, you will often get less hours, so... I don't know.
Look, I'm a socialist, not a mathematician. Which is not...
I don't remember that quote from Star Trek.
Which is not to imply that... I remember there being a while ago, like, a post that was basically like, it's ridiculous to expect every socialist to have, like, perfect knowledge of the, you know, of all these things. Like, I'm an idiot. People smarter than me, like, say this stuff. It makes sense. I don't, like... You don't expect someone who supports capitalism to be able to fucking, like, defend it on every level of philosophy and logistics. Like, no. It's like, nah, it's... You know. That gnome is fucked up.
Yeah.
Seems angry.
What should we name him?
Jorb.
Goob?
Ghob. King of the Gnomes.
Oh, I was gonna say, what if we named him Glorbo after that one,
Yeah, sure. That's fine, too.
Glorbo has finally been added to Sims 3, everybody!
Probably less likely to upset the King of the Gnomes. That we would blaspheme their name.
Wahoo! Thank goodness, we finally reached Glorbo hours.
Real Glorbo hours.
Real Glorbo hours, as opposed to fake Glorbo hours. Hate those.
Petition to replace AM and PM with Glorbo and Glorbo.
Glorbo and Glorbo, yes. Correct. Before Globo and after Glorbo. BG and AG.
We really do need a new calendar.
Like, October isn't the 8th month. It's so stupid. What? Huh?
Okay.
You guys all saw that, right? Norvis reminding us that reality is optional.
God, I wish that were true.
I was gonna say something, but I completely lost track of where I was.
You're complaining about that they added months so that the names don't
Oh,
line up
right.
with the
I
number.
remember Kurt Sagat on YouTube did a new calendar for human history. They basically just add 10,000 to the date. I think it was.
I mean, that's probably, like, a fairly real, like, it's one of those things where it's like, great, okay, if that's all we're doing, then
I think it was
you've just
mentioned
made it
sort
a
of,
larger, more unwieldy number.
Yeah, I think it
feel
was
like it
mostly
would be
time
more
of
practical.
being more representative of the inclusion of human history, but also, like, not having to adjust as many things for practicality's sake.
Right, well, I mean, I feel like it should be a thing where it's like,
So currently it would
you
be
have a
10,000.
I feel like it should be like how you have the national decks and then you have the
yeah.
right where it's like, yes, this is the year for all of human history. That's an unwieldy number and we're not going to use it on a daily basis. We are going to measure from something more recent that is not tied to any specific religion.
Yeah, so I think on the Kurt Sagat human calendar, the current year would be 12,023.
That sounds right. I feel like I've seen a picture of their calendar. I don't
Yeah,
think I
they-
ever actually saw the video that it's from. But
How
like,
did I teleport into a car on the mainland? How?
um,
Norvis is now a top secret researcher. The government has been closely following your career since your days as a test subject. They want
I mean,
to
I guess the other thing would be like, rather than picking actually like, because then it's like, oh well, is this an important enough time to then change the calendar? Like, and like actually maybe just have predetermined like every, I don't know, 9,000 years, right? Just like keep the number of digits limited. Then you just like redo it, and you just have it like how in fantasy you've got like the nth age.
Yeah. Anyway, the government has been closely following your career since your days as a test subject. They want you to head up their new program as a top secret researcher. It's all very hush-hush, need to know, that sort of thing. All of humanity will benefit from this research, or so they claim. Hi, ice cream truck hanging out outside my house.
Well, I mean, they did say the government was keeping tabs on you.
Yeah.
Right,
That
like, that's
explains
not
so
even,
much!
like-
That's actually the government surveillance vehicle. Keeping tabs on Norbis.
Is it not?
I mean, I'm gonna assume it is now. Wow, the symposium sounds incredible. Wow. Wow, they sound really active.
Nah,
Sounds
not
so
really.
exciting.
Hmm.
Wow. Your speech wasn't long or boring, quite the achievement. Not everybody can successfully blab about science to a room full of Sims, especially not without explosions. Your co-workers and boss have all warmed to you after seeing you deliver your seminar. Your job performance has also increased, so we'll probably get our promotion to level 9 tomorrow.
Oh boy. I've just come up with the most horrible, like, dystopia idea.
Yeah? The torment
Imagine if just, like, it's like, okay, we've replaced the calendar. We're no longer going to be counting since approximately 3 years before the astrological events that were described as occurring during Christ's birth. Instead, we will be counting from the invention of Coca-Cola.
I heard 3 years before, and my brain immediately went to, we're doing the Haruhi calendar.
No, but like that's actually like, because like the Star of Bethlehem, right? I think is like, oh yeah, we're pretty sure that was a specific like supernova, and based on seasons and that and like some other stuff. Like, I can't. There's some detail where like you can actually look at the historical record, like if and obviously it is a pretty big if, the story of Jesus' birth happened. It did not happen in the year that
Zero?
we count as 0.
Oh.
Like, it's just
Awkward.
like, nope, you're off by a little bit. It's not quite right. And like,
Well,
I think
it's too
that,
late
like,
to change it now.
I mean, don't, like, Judaism still just uses a calendar. They're on like year 4,000 something, aren't they? Like, I don't see why we couldn't just
Bold
do a
of you to
different
assume
calendar.
I know anything.
I guess like the argument now is like, if we change anything, do we run into like Y2K bug
Again.
type problems, right?
Yeah. I think, again, that's what the Kurtzikot calendar was trying to avoid.
Yeah.
You
I
can
don't know,
literally
like-
take your existing calendars and just write a 1 in front of it, and you're good.
Right, but like, does that actually like
Accomplish
solve-
anything?
does that solve the problem that it's still at its base, like, based on a specific... Okay, well, we're going to take a calendar that is based on a specific cultural, like,
Hello.
thing, and just add numbers to it. Cool. Why are we taking that calendar and adding to it?
Norbis's reputation with the rebels is now bohemian, apparently.
I mean, that's still fairly rebellious.
Yeah. Hi, party. We're probably wrapping up soon.
That's rebellious enough that, conservatives would, would call you, a danger to society.
Yeah, we're level 5 out of 10 rebel now.
Jabby booch.
Yeah, that probably scans for Bohemian. If, Ken is just, full anarchist, I guess.
I don't remember what the titles are. I never really bothered to know them because they don't matter. Let's see. I said we were gonna get a promotion today, but we actually have the day off. We get a promotion actually tomorrow.
Well, that's fine. Again, like I said, I can be here a little bit.
Yes. Let's make some more floor hygienators.
I mean, honestly, thinking about it, I would not be shocked if, some fuckwit from Florida tried to, pass a thing so that America uses a calendar that starts with, the signing of the Declaration of Independence or something.
What, Ron DeSantis?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to say because I don't think it just, I think there are a number of
Florida man.
Yeah. Or and again, Florida more as a synecdoche for a variety of states. Basically any Republican, really, I could see it be doing it. I could see a number of Democrats doing it, frankly.
A lot of, unfortunately, not smart people.
Yeah.
What really gets me is the people that are proud to be poorly educated. Come on. How?
Yeah, it's... I mean, there is a certain degree to where, the idea... getting a good education demonstrably does not necessarily, that does not innately make you smart.
Sure.
Right? Bush went to Yale. This is not... But also, not receiving an education does not make you better or smarter than someone who did. And maybe some stuff that you get taught in school isn't, I mean, I'm not going to say isn't right because I feel that implies
you'll
the wrong
still,
thing,
there's still, the basics. If you didn't go to, college or something, who cares? But if you didn't go to elementary school, that's,
I feel like a lot of these people tend to focus more on college, which is why I said, but that's true. First off, yeah, you don't need to go, increasingly now, I don't think you need to go to college, right? Our generation was definitely, told, all you gotta do is,
yeah, no,
even if we do it, it doesn't help.
I'm a college dropout.
Yeah. And there's, again, nothing wrong with that, but it also not, innately morally superior. But yeah, even going back to, earlier school, which I guess I don't feel like I hear people saying they're proud not to. Well, no, I guess you sometimes hear people I dropped out of high school, and it's well, if you actually managed to do something with that, then great, good for you. But that doesn't,
And
it's this weird conflation of...
Homeschooling also is sometimes kind of a gray area.
Yeah.
Because, your parents very much can have an agenda in what they teach you.
No, absolutely. Because you had said proud of, not getting an education,
Yeah.
I was sort of, thinking that, the people who like homeschooling consider that to be an education.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're proud not to. Yeah. But yeah, no, obviously there's a lot of different sort of, angles of it.
Unroutable sim found, Ulysses Hosman. That's certainly a name. Apologies to any viewers named Ulysses. It's the combination of Ulysses and Hosman.
But, I guess, I feel like where you wind up hearing about this kind of thing the most often is where someone who did not receive an education in a specific subject is suggesting that they know the subject better than someone who has a PhD in it.
Yeah.
That's sort of like the
Reddit
problem.
r/don't you know who I am, or
Yeah.
r/confidently incorrect. Take your pick. Both good.
Yeah.
And actually, there's a subcategory of r/confidently incorrect that I also find amusing, but also kind of terrifying, and that's r/not how girls work.
Oh, God. Look, I'm not gonna pretend I'm an expert, but like, yeah, you hear shit, and it's just like,
Yeah,
can you not
here some people
think
have
through what you say before you say it?
like
You know, like,
that one RuneScape meme image of just think once before you speak, please.
yeah. Just, I feel like what's very sad is when you see women who are incorrect about things because they were taught by an
Right.
education system that's,
And then they try to propagate it too, which is even
yeah,
worse.
which, then you also get that with other, like, orange juice does not negate ADHD meds, and people spread that around like it is, like, absolutely true. It's grapefruit juice. Grapefruit juice. And it's a specific med, it's not all meds.
Yeah.
Like, I guess, like, on the other hand, me saying that, I don't want anyone to be like, oh, well, I guess it's fine then, because I don't know what your medication is, and, all these, but, like, people will hear a thing and think that, oh, this is important knowledge, everyone needs to know this, and they'll spread it around, and it won't be true. And then it's like, okay, well, this does not help the situation.
Imagine doing research before you spread a PSA.
But, like, it's increasing, again, this is also with the AI, right? Because then they'll scrape and they'll hear a
God,
thing
yeah.
said, and then yeah. And there's actually a word for a thing where, like, a Wikipedia article will have one source, and
then someone will cite
someone else
Wikipedia.
yeah, which then
And then
becomes
Wikipedia will then
a
cite
source
them as a
yeah,
source, yeah.
yeah. And there's, like, word for that phenomenon. I don't remember what it is.
Incestuous.
I mean, sure, that yes, I guess that is a somewhat evocative and accurate way to describe it, but this was more like a pithy portmanteau or something. But
Alright,
yeah,
I
no,
believe we are about to become a creature robot crossbreeder and get our lifetime wish. Again.
Alright. So do that, roll for next time, call it a day?
Yeah.
Alright.
Where's that one Magic the Gathering card that creatures you? Creatures you with Fable. Yay, we did it.
There's a, like, Form of the Dragon where it makes the rules function as though you were a dragon creature card. Is that what you mean?
No, that one, like, AI generated card.
Oh, the AI. Is there one that does just say, like, creature? Yeah, that
creatures you if
good.
able.
Sure, that sounds.
I think you can probably.
That sounds like Robo Rosewater.
I think you can search for that exact string in the pound.
I'm sure. Discord. Yeah, I'll check. Yeah. Creatures you.
It's also 1 mana 8/8.
That seems a lot.
There we go. Carlopede Strider. Creatures you if able.
Yeah.
Alright, let's
talk about power and vigilance.
Alright, let's spin. I did a test spin earlier to make this thing wider so it would all fit. And like, I got Home Design Hotshot.
Didn't we do that one already?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I for some reason thought that we had. Maybe we just talked about it for some reason.
Maybe.
Alright.
Hide that. Alright, Master Mixologist, right?
Yeah. I could have sworn we did something with that already, but maybe I'm...
Nope, we mastered the mixology skill, but we have yet to own a bar.
Okay, I bet you we talked about it then, and...
However,
that's what I was thinking.
I believe we have mastered the mixology skill.
Yeah. Oh, can we do this,
So-
like, instantly?
Yeah.
Alright, then we'll roll
We'll
roll again.
Paradise Pub, I believe, is the one there.
Yeah, there.
So let's find out. Nope, not that. No. Hold on. Real estate and travel services. Check real estate. Nope, come on. Can't do it away from home. Come on. Come on, Norbis. Cooperate, please. View purchasable properties.
It's not there.
I forget what it was called already.
It was Paradise Pub, I thought, but I didn't see it under P.
Maybe I got the name wrong somehow.
I saw it on the map. That is what it was called.
Interesting. It's also not technically a bar, so what I'm gonna do is somewhere in here. Community lots. Specific. It's over this side, this end. I forget exactly what it's called or where it is on the list. I don't need festival grounds. I'll know it when I see it. I remember the one that's a specific size as well. I don't... Is that it?
I mean...
Oh, I think that's it, yeah. Why is it not letting me place it? Is there something on the lot? There you go. Yeah, it didn't count as being empty. There we go. Ah, yeah, this is the one I was thinking of. Purchase property. Have we mastered mixology?
You said yes? You had the
Now I'm
thing?
not so sure. Yes, I have. Yes. Just making sure. Yep, there we go. Let's update the wish
Yay!
counter to 16 of 85. And let's bring back the wheel. And spin again. Physical perfection. I believe this has mastered the athletic and martial arts skills.
All right.
All right, we can do that next time.
That's good.
This is what peak male performance looks like. Image of Norbus. So, thank you all for coming. Short one this week, but better that than nothing, I figured. So,
Yeah.
see y'all next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.